I wanted to thank everyone for my pregnancy. Congratulations. There's so much love around us and around this pregnancy, and it means a lot. And I wanted you all to know that.
The energy is very, very positive.
I know, which makes me feel really good as a mom-to-be.
Yep.
So we kicked up a little firestorm.
I had so much fun writing that.
Betty was asked by National Magazine to bottom line what is the difference between the clitoris and the G-spot, talking about that recent research that said the clitoris is it, that's the source of orgasm. And you wrote a long-form piece. I put it down to 2 or 3 sentences, put it on social media, and they were gone.
So what did you put on our website?
Your full piece, and it's only about 5 paragraphs, but I love your first line. You just said the clitoris is the primary source
of sexual pleasure for women.
Whether it's stimulated internally or externally or both.
Indirectly or directly.
What does that mean?
Just whether you're doing your finger or a tongue or a toy above, next to, or below the actual clitoral glands, that would be direct stimulation.
What's indirect stimulation?
Indirect would be going in through the vagina, pressing on the ceiling to stimulate the urinary tract, which is what they call the G-spot. There is no G-spot.
You always say that you hate the notion of a spot because it makes it seem like there's some magical spot you can just hit with your finger and a woman will come her face.
It's like the the clitoris isn't a spot; it's an organ.
Yes, she objects to the nomenclature.
Totally, and it's so enamored for all the wrong reasons. And then the other one is the deep spot. That's when you get the solar plexus.
Well, it's when you're really, really aroused and had a ton of clitoral orgasms and your uterus pulls up and you get an extra little bit of space. And if you have a long enough...
Deep, very deep.
If you have a big penis, a big long penis or a big long dildo, yes, you can have... And then they call that now cervical orgasms, which is, again, bullshit because there are no nerve endings in your cervix, but that's what they call it.
It's still the clitoris, kids. You had to get that clitoris going before you could get that deep spot innervated. It's so ridiculous. So, we were talking earlier. Why is it you talk about a clitoral orgasm? I have vaginal orgasm.
I have nipple orgasms.
And I can even think off, and I can breathe off.
And I can have anal orgasms, too.
Okay, I'm happy for you. Go right ahead and have them. In the meantime, the primary organ for our sexual pleasure is the clitoral body. That is the shaft and the glands and the legs and the bulbs that are internal. Now, please, could we just all shake hands and agree that the clitoris is the woman's primary source for sexual pleasure?
Why is that so hard, though? Every time you say that, we get a slew of comments. And it's like you're not saying it's the only source. You're saying it's the primary.
We'll see that together. It is the primary source for women's pleasure and orgasm. So there you have it. And they're going to dance around all these other techniques and places and spots.
And it clouds everything. Because people are like, what? I don't understand. It just makes it so complicated.
It's very simple, isn't it? So now we're getting through.
Do you understand yet? Well,
pound.
The other part of your article that I liked is you talked about women need at least 20 to 30 minutes of adequate clitoral stimulation to get her erectile tissue and the full clitoral body stimulated enough so she's ready to orgasm.
Adequate. Now, what would that be? Don't you figure that would be up to the woman to determine?
For me, it means a lot of lube.
Okay, for me, it means a lot of lube and a lot of clit stim that I control.
It's just easier.
It's my sex organ.
It's just easier.
You guys can knock yourselves out all you want, but I got to tell you, no one knows how to do my clitoris better than me. And if a woman masturbates, no one knows how to do her clitoris better than she does. She knows what she wants. She knows how much pressure. Oh, I'm exhausted.
Know what it reminds me of? Remember when we went to the Museum of Sex and they had, I forget what the exhibition was, but they had 2 flat screens. And on the flat screen was a heterosexual couple porn clip. So the woman was laying back, and the penis is going in and out of her missionary, and she's just sitting there with her hands back. Then there was a gay scene with two men, and he was penetrating him anally, and the guy was stimulating his own penis. And we stood in front of it and went, oh, it's so simple. Look at the difference. She has to lay there passive.
Because it's what that represents is the male penis is all that any woman needs.
Whereas that's not true for two gay men. He's stimulating his own penis, his phallus. Why isn't she stimulating her phallus, her clitoris?
I know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing exactly. And I've made that analogy. It's very clear. A guy doesn't keep his hands off his own dick. He's down.
Oh, he's always got his dick in his hands. He might let you suck it a little, but he's squeezing his balls. He's telling you how.
Yeah, I mean, he's right there with it.
Bobbing your head.
Bob, bob. Faster, harder, wetter. Once we understand that our best orgasms are the combination, which is clitoral stimulation
with vaginal penetration
at the same time.
You said the discussion ends there.
The discussion ends there. Once women know this. So women get it. And once you get it, you can explain to your sweet little boyfriend.
Or girlfriend.
Even the girlfriends don't get it.
No.
I don't know. So then we'll have that all put to bed, that the clitoris is a woman's primary source of pleasure.
Orgasm.
Well, and orgasm, yes, pleasure and orgasm. So go practice.